Speak softly so no one else hears? We've all said and heard this. But think about when we say it, and when we hear it. There are very few secrets we want to keep from others. Often, we cause trouble in our families by sharing things we shouldn't. We might not realize it, but it's true, because knowingly or unknowingly, we share things about ourselves that should remain private. These things we share, whether knowingly or unknowingly, often become the reasons for our sorrows and quarrels. Later, we regret sharing them, thinking we shouldn't have told anyone. That's why, after listening to the Buddhist story I'm going to tell you today, you'll learn about things you should never share with others. These are the 7 things you should not tell anyone, and I'll explain why. If you think I've missed anything, please let me know in the comments. Before you get absorbed in this Buddhist story, please subscribe to this channel. Now, let's start the story. Once upon a time, a young man named Rajesh lived in a city. He was very poor and struggled to have even 2 meals a day. Despite searching day and night, he couldn't find any work. One day, he shared his problem with his wife. He told her, "Wherever I go to ask for work, everyone says they don't need anyone. I'm exhausted from looking for work. I don't know how I will feed you all. How will I raise my children? This worry eats me up day and night." Hearing this, his wife thought for a while and said, "You go to a man once to ask for work. When he doesn't give you work, you don't go to him again. If you want to get work from them, you have to show sympathy. You have to show your poverty so they understand your situation and hire you. Don't be ashamed. Tell them about your helplessness and poverty. This is the only way you can get a job." This stuck in Rajesh's mind. The next day, he went back to the same businessman where he had gone the previous day to ask for work. This time, he folded his hands and prayed to the businessman. "I am very poor and I need work very much. I will be satisfied with whatever you give me, but please hire me." Seeing his condition, the businessman gave him a job. Rajesh started going there to work every day. He was happy to have a job, but he was getting less salary than others. The other people doing the same work were getting more salary, while he was getting less. When he told his boss about this, the boss said, "Look, you needed work, and I gave you work. Instead of thanking me, you are complaining." Hearing this, Rajesh became silent. This was true. The boss had given him work because of his desperation and paid him as he wished. But gradually, Rajesh started telling his close relatives and friends about what kind of man his boss was and how much salary he was getting. Time kept passing, and Rajesh kept working with full dedication. But now, the circumstances started changing. The boss began to take more work from Rajesh than from other people, and he used to pay him less salary. This bothered Rajesh a lot. He was working harder than others and getting less salary than them. This hurt his self-esteem. Now, slowly, he started losing interest in his work. He was not interested in his work at all. It is obvious. Who would want to work in a place where they have to compromise their self-respect? So, he soon left his job and came back home to sit idle. Now, he didn't have money for household expenses. He started asking for help from his relatives and friends, but his friends considered him an object of pity. They consoled him, but behind his back, they made fun of him. They said he was a fool. The owner made him work so much and didn't even pay him properly. If we give him money, how will he pay us back? He has no work. Where will he get the money from? Because of this, Rajesh's condition got worse day by day. He started living under constant stress. The same friends and relatives who pretended to care about him were the ones mocking him. They considered him an object of pity. They felt sorry for him. Everyone would come and give him a lot of advice, but no one would help him. This is what happens often. Many people give advice, but how many people actually help, hold your hand, and take you forward? One day, Rajesh heard that a knowledgeable Buddhist monk had come to the neighboring village. Rajesh was so stressed that he couldn't see any way out. So, knowingly or unknowingly, he went to the Buddhist monk. When he arrived, he fell at the monk's feet and started crying. While crying, he told the monk his entire situation. He explained how his boss took advantage of him and how his relatives treated him. After listening to everything, the Buddhist monk quieted him and said, "Son, all these problems have arisen because of your foolishness. If you had wisdom, none of these problems would have made you sad. But because of your lack of wisdom and foolishness, you have put obstacles in your own path. Today, I will tell you 7 things you should never share with anyone, even by mistake. By following these, you can get rid of the sorrows that come from outside and grow inside you unnecessarily due to the world. The first thing you should never tell anyone is your helplessness. Never pretend to be helpless and become an object of pity for others. It is possible that today they may help you after seeing your helplessness, but tomorrow they will not hesitate to take advantage of you. And even if they do not take advantage, they will never hesitate to make fun of you in front of others. That is why never show off your helplessness. If there are 2 dry rotis in the house, eat them and go to sleep, but don't let others even get a hint about it. Just think, what is the meaning of showing helplessness? A person either wants to gain sympathy from others or wants some financial help from them. But if you look at both situations, the other person will not miss the chance to take advantage of you. Even if they don't take advantage, they will think you are a fool and make fun of you in front of others. That is why you should never tell anyone about your helplessness. The second thing you should not tell anyone is your past mistakes and future plans. Just think, what happens if we tell our past mistakes to someone else? Those mistakes cannot be corrected. So, what is the point of telling them? You are showing your dark side to the world. You are revealing your mistakes to others. This will create a bad impression of you in that person's eyes, and they will always see you that way in the future. That is why you should not let your character be judged by others. And just think, you are needlessly telling your future plans to others. What is the use of bragging about your future plans in front of people who are not even a part of your work? Those people may not help you, but they can become obstacles in your future plans. Use your own judgment and think if you have ever shared your future plans with someone, only to see them fail. It must have happened to you at some point. Just reflect on it for a moment. The third thing you should not tell anyone is your family matters. Whatever we talk about at home with our parents, wife, or children should stay within the family. If you share these matters with others, they get a chance to interfere in your home and might try to take advantage of the situation. They may try to turn your family members against you. It often happens that to reduce fights at home, we tell our neighbors and relatives about them. But this never helps. Instead, the fights at home might get worse, which is inevitable. If you share your family matters with others, your parents will understandably feel hurt, knowing that their son is discussing these things with outsiders instead of with them. That's why it's important not to disclose your household matters or conflicts to anyone. The fourth thing you should not tell anyone might sound strange, but I will explain why. Do not tell anyone about your income. Now, what could be the reason for not telling your income? Just think. If you tell your friends about your income, then when they need help, they will remember you because they know you have a good income. So you can also help them, and more people will ask for your help. When you do not help them, they will think, this person has money and can help me, but is not helping. This can cause a fight between you and your friends. If your income is low, people will make fun of you, and if it is high, they will ask for help. So, there is no point in telling your income. The fifth thing to remember is not to share your weaknesses and strengths. Often, a person may not be fully aware of their own weaknesses or strengths. But if you do know them, firstly, you're quite insightful. Secondly, you should keep these to yourself, because if others know your weaknesses, they may exploit them to their advantage. If your strengths are known, then those strengths can become weaknesses, because others know about them and can use them against you. You should not share your weaknesses and strengths even with your wife or husband, because you might always have to live under their control. The next thing not to tell anyone is about your friends and enemies. If you tell others about your friends, they can deceive you by getting close to your friends and try to distance your close friends from you. Typically, an ordinary person wouldn't do this, but your enemies might try. On the other hand, it's crucial that no one knows about your enemies. If a friend today becomes your enemy tomorrow, they can team up with your enemy and betray you. So, never tell even your best friends about your enemies. The last thing I want to say is when you donate, do not tell anyone about it. Otherwise, the donation becomes useless. When you make a big deal about your donation, You are showing off and creating an ego inside you. That's why it's better to donate secretly. When your left hand is giving charity, the right hand should not know that the left hand is giving charity. These are the 7 things the Buddhist monk told Rajesh. All the principles of the world are hidden in them. By following these things, you can create peace and happiness in your home and end the quarrels forever. If you think about these things, you will find them to be true. The purpose of sharing this story is to awaken your conscience. Reflect on what we've shared, and if you disagree or have additional insights, please comment below. Also, let us know your thoughts on this story. See you in the next one. Take care.